Welcome to this video. Round 7 in Kantiman-Zisk, the candidates tournament, and this is the game Kramnik against Mamedyarov. Yeah, and certainly a game of different characters and different stories of this tournament. Kramnik has just lost in the round before against his big rival Topalov in a very drastic fashion. Mamedyarov has been, in a way, gifted a win by Swidler. So they are both on 50%. A very defining game, let's say. If it will have a winner, this person is really much in contention, which would be especially great for Mamedyarov after he started with -2 and was basically out of it already. And Kramnik, of course, a pre-tournament favorite, he also would love to get a win in. So let's see. So we have Queen's Gambit, and it's the Ragozin, which seems Mamedyarov's main opening here in Kanti. He had played this before against Aronian in round 2, where he so awfully gave away the queen just a couple of moves later. I don't know, move 14, 15, somewhere around that. But we get a different line now. Kramnik exchanges and plays bishop g5, knight d7 and queen c2. This is the absolute main line of the opening. Aronian had played this interesting move. Okay, queen c2, c5 and e3. This is the most fighting choice. Kramnik is not in for a slow technical maneuvering game. Here he also could have taken on c5, which very often leads to such a game with long maneuvering endgames, playing against this isolated pawn. But e3, the main move. Queen a5, bishop d3, c4, bishop f5. All this has been played numerous times. I won't do so much about the opening for this video because simply the later stage of the game is so complicated. I'll never get this video below 1 hour if I do a big opening survey. Castles, rook e8. Yeah, the general idea or the general conflict in this line is between the center and the queen side. White has an additional pawn in the center and active pieces all geared towards the center, those bishops, knights and so on. And black has a counterplay idea on the queen side. He will often capture here and initiate play with b5, a5, or sometimes the knight will also join the queen side play. So this is a very sharp line actually. It's okay, very sharp, it depends. The knight of poison pawn is sharper, but considering that we're in a queen's gambit, is one of the more confrontational lines where both sides actually can hope to get a full point simply because of the very much different approaches to the position of both sides. Yeah, knight d2 was played. Very well-known move. It gives additional attention to the e4 square and long time might prepare play in the center. g6. And now Kramnik took on d7. This is a relatively, recent is maybe the wrong word, but the traditional move here is bishop to h3, just dropping it back, after which black has a number of possibilities. One line is king g7, and this has been played, for example, in a game between Peter Swidler playing white and Kramnik playing black in 2010 in this Melody Amber tournament. I guess it was a rapid or blindfold game then. So Kramnik is also able to play this as black. They both have experience with that. Okay, but here bishop d7 was played, and this is a move that is geared more towards immediate concrete play, as bishop h3 is more of a strategical move. Here, after this, Kramnik is playing h4, really a aggressive way to play. This has more than one idea. It at some point might prepare h5, but this is not the main point. The main thing is this bishop is protected now, and this allows for various ideas. Very often along the 5th rank, this bishop can be a liability, and this is not the case now. It is protected. And yeah, what is black supposed to play now? Mamedyarov surprisingly took a bit of time and played b5, which is, I mean, surprisingly, because this is an absolute main line of the opening. h4 is not the only move, but certainly something that yeah, he should some preparation against, simply because he had it on the board already against Chiparinov in 2007. I found a game where Mamedyarov was black, and it was funny enough played in Khanty-Mansiysk, one of the World Cup events. And in that game he had played knight b6, Mamedyarov. Very complicated stuff. He lost at the end, but it's not necessarily due to the opening. Yeah, here I played b5, and after a long think, okay, Kramnik responded with a4. Very logical move, but it is a novelty. b5 has been played once before, at least in my database, and in this game the white player just played a3 instead of a4. A4 is just much more logical, I guess. It now basically forces black's reaction. Black cannot play a6, of course, very clear. He must take the only move, and now he must play b4, really. I don't see anything else. Otherwise we get yeah, the structure will simply be terrible. What else should black play? A move like, yeah, move the queen back. There's rook b1. Yeah, he must do that. This is pretty much forced. Yeah, and to be honest, I don't think that this is a particularly great structure for black. It arises almost by force after this b5 idea. And white here has a key move. Maybe it's an interesting position for you to look at and ask yourself, what is white's best move in this position? It's not a tactical move, but more of a strategical move. It's not very difficult, but maybe take a couple of seconds, think about the position. What would you play here? Yeah, I'm going to show you the move now. Kramnik here played knight to b1. A very yeah, a very obvious move for a player with a good strategical understanding. The knight is heading to c3 here, and this is the ideal square for the knight, especially considering that there is no dark squared bishop anymore that can challenge the knight in some way. This means the knight is just so nicely planted on c3, always attacking the d5 pawn, sometimes intending, that's weird, intending knight b5 under the right circumstances. And it also, of course, on here, it supports e4 in the right moment, possibly prepared by f3. Queen d6, in fact, after knight b1, I'm not sure about. I mean, the setup that Mamedyarov now chooses looks a bit weird to me, to be honest. I was expecting this, actually, that he would put the bishop on c6, because it's also looking at the e4 square. I'm not sure, really. Maybe he was worried about e4 in this position. This might be after the capture d5. White is winning. Very embarrassing b file. But you don't need to take, you can retreat the queen. And I'm not sure about this position at all. Maybe then f3. Very complicated position. Certainly exactly the type of position that I'm pretty sure both players wanted to have. They really played a super sharp game here. Yeah, okay, he went to d6 and now set up his pieces like that. which I don't really like. What is the bishop doing here? Isn't it better on c6? But okay, it's tough to judge, and I don't want to get into it so deeply. We see that Kramnik is shifting his queen over to the king side. Yeah, the king side after all is also slightly weakened by black, and you have some pressure against d5. Yeah, black covers d5. Now, and we see some strengthening moves. White doubles on the b file. All this seems very logical. Knight back to g7. Yeah, and now maybe there's knight f5 coming. So white just pushes with g4. This is not an attacking move. It's more of a prophylactic move. And yeah, simply move to grab space and control vital squares. King went back to g8. And queen to f4. Yeah, going on a dark square. King f7 and now e4. This was a bit too quick. Yeah, we see that after some maneuvering, white has improved most of his pieces, and it's looking like a generally nice position for white. You got the b file. Yeah, got the b file. This is a bit of a weird piece. And let's say if you compare the pieces and the structure, everything points somewhat in white's favor. But you still have an issue in this position. How actually are you going to breach this this defensive setup? And Kramnik is playing, you saw it already because I clicked a bit too much here. Kramnik played the move e4. So this is the kind of, yeah, in German we say using the crowbar. But I'm not sure if this is the right choice in this position. Maybe he should have prepared things a bit more. But okay, it's good that he played that, because what we are going to get just in a couple of moves is one of the most air-raising positions that I ever saw, probably, or at least in recent times. Okay, well, e4 has been played, and Mamedyarov responded with knight to e6. Yeah, he maybe also was thinking about the capture, and this is, I think, playable, really. d5 is probably the idea. Now queen d6, the only move. Yeah, and here white has a choice. He can try for rook b7 or play queen e3, which is maybe a bit more complicated. This rook b7 is a tactical thing. Now, well, the 7th rank and the knight here is attacked, so you must play rook e7. There is no choice. Yeah, and here we come to a pretty weird endgame.
Check.
This is very much forced. And yeah, what about this endgame? Hard to tell. I actually believe that after g5, it's probably about equal. Yeah, it might continue like that.
Check.
Yeah, and this is probably going to end in a draw, but okay, I won't continue it because it's not so relevant for the whole game. But okay, well, Mamedyarov I think could have taken on e4. It's not a bad move probably. But knight e6 is also interesting. Yeah, here Kramnik took on d5. And this is really a defining moment for this game, as white will get this pawn on c6. There actually also was the move queen e3, which wasn't bad, and can lead to also crazy stuff. One interesting move that the computer suggests again, that leading to unclear play, is knight to c5. So weird as it looks. Really strange. This is very good for black. So white will probably take here, and it will continue like that. Totally crazy. Yeah, well, this is what Kramnik played, and it seems to be okay. That's not a bad move at all, and it gets very, very sharp now. Of course, it's a double attack. It's a fork, I mean, like that. So black must take on f4, and now white took on c6. Yeah, and this is already a really crazy position. How to assess that? White has the strong c pawn, potentially the d pawn, and on the other hand, this piece here will be will be a big problem, and we see that now. Mamedyarov is playing the move g5. This is the real problem of the position from White's point of view. It would be great with the c pawn and everything, but this g5 move is a big problem. Note that Mamedyarov also could have played rook takes d4, but this is probably only going to end in a draw with a wild variation, though. Rook b7 check is very strong. I mean, White must do that to save the draw, probably. Rook b8. And here White has a fantastic move, knight b5. And this is a move that really is doing so many things at once. It's hard to really keep track. It attacks the rook. Yeah, if the rook goes to e4, White is obviously even winning. If the rook goes somewhere on the d file, let's say here, yeah, this is hanging. So there's lots of stuff hanging now. And well, the best move is rook takes b7. Knight d6 check. Yeah, I'm getting something back. Here. And White is a piece up. But the crazy thing is, if you continue this line, c3 will probably secure a draw. Yeah, but it's a very, very deep line. Black will get this pawn in addition. Yeah, he played g5, and this is also the more principled move, trying to just win this bishop. The problem is, if White takes, I mean, this happened, you can put this on the board. If White now would take here, there is this simple trick. And yeah, not great. What did Kramnik do? It's a problem. I mean, king g6 is also possibly coming, just picking up this bishop. Yeah, Kramnik here played the move c7, which is the best one. And Mamedyarov replied rook to d6. Also the best move. It attacks the bishop immediately. And yeah, essentially wins this piece, as shown. White has nothing better than taking now on g5 and at least grab a pawn for that.
Check.
Yeah, this exactly happened. So how to assess this position? Has Mamedyarov just won a piece? It's not that easy. If you just count stuff, White has 5 pawns. Yeah, 5 pawns against 3, and Black is a piece up. But this is not the whole story, of course. The main issue is this pawn on c7, potentially the d pawn, and the somewhat loose character of Black's pieces. The knight on g5 is unprotected, and the bishop on a6 is also possible liability, but not a great one. It's simply a case where now concrete calculation is king. Everything else here is just nothing. You need to just calculate every possible line as precise as possible. They have 5 moves to make, and both are on about 10 to 12 minutes. Yeah, Kramnik now played d5, which is a move that has, besides concrete reasons, also some very logical look to it, because it covers e6 so that the knight, drawing this weird, the knight cannot go to e6 and therefore takes important space. The d pawn is also a potential threat in general, and yeah, White prepares further rook b8, for example. Yeah, and up from this position on, at every move you can consider various alternatives, and they're all very, very complicated. I believe that Mamedyarov played the best move here. Played bishop c8, getting the bishop back into the play, and possibly just taking on g4. It also blocks the c pawn, of course. I am this is also very much of a fighting move where you also try to win the game. I was also checking if there are clear draws or alternatives. Rook d7 was a move that I looked at, but now f4. Yeah, this is an important point, that this knight does not really have any great place to go. If you go to e4, I'm going to take it. Rook takes, and now a very funny move. Yeah, and white is actually better. Threatening c8. And this is a really weird situation. Can go here, or I'm going to get this rook back and now have a much better rook endgame, probably just winning. Yeah, the position is full of those tricks. Yeah, bishop c8, as mentioned, was played by Mamedyarov, and it's a good move, bishop c8. Okay. Rook b8 now, played by Kramnik. This makes lots of sense. Yeah, the c-pawn needs to be supported by the rook, and it seems to be the best move as well. Yeah, now rook f6, rook f6, f6, 6 would be 6 in German. Sometimes I have those little German words creeping in. Yeah, okay, rook f6, and well, this intends rook f4 to probably get to the g4 pawn. Yeah, what the position. It's very tough now. Kramnik only with some minutes left, and he now played the move rook a8, which at first I thought, yeah, I'm not sure. It's probably not the most precise move, but who is going to play with computer-like precision in such a position? It seems that a good move here was knight b5. I need to show it anyway because the lines are so interesting. Yeah, the idea is simply to grab on a7 and then promote. And yeah, black can play knight e4 here, and intending rook f2. Takes.
Check.
Takes. And now bishop g4. Yeah, and this is a draw, this position. It's a case of, yeah, enough counterplay against the king. And yeah, sometimes, let's say here,
check.
Black can even win with an attack. And black wins. Yeah, it's super complicated. Knight b5 was probably the best move. There also is bishop takes g4 here that black can play. Oops, I need to do it a bit differently. Bishop takes g4. This can also be played after knight b5. For instance, like that. Yeah, just grabbing everything. And yeah, well, you need to see that white has got 4 pawns, 4 against 2. If you manage to just promote, you might end up having an extra pawn in some sort of endgame. But that's not the issue. Black can actually give a ton of checks here. And a line like that here is quite funny.
Check.
Now the move h6 is quite nice, keeping the king trapped on the side of the board. And you can continue this line. If white tries to play something like a5, you should probably play rook b8. You might even end up in trouble. This can easily happen.
Check. Check.
Now c3 is probably securing the draw. It is super complicated stuff, and very hard to show in a structured manner on video, because there are so many lines. It at the end, it seems that knight b5 was probably good for a draw. Kramnik played rook a8, yeah, okay. Mamedyarov played rook f4. This is fine. White now must play f3. And here we come to a point, but it's move 90, move 39, and I'm not sure about the clock times. I think they really had less time on the clock. I cannot believe that in this kind of position they would simply have like 7 minutes left. This makes no sense at all. Yeah, well, okay, after f3 here, white had protected g4, and black now obviously can take on f3. And the question is, how? How do you take? Mamedyarov took with the rook. He also could have taken with the knight, and maybe this was better. The line that occurs after that is rook takes c8. This is the critical line. Rook c8. And now again, this funny move, knight b5. Yeah, intending knight d6. And the strange thing is, it's really a position with rook down, but there's also d6 and knight takes a7. This combined two moves also make life quite tough for black. It seems that this is a good reply. Rook g8. Just
check,
like that. Getting to this position. And now knight d2 is quite strong. Black has this very strong c-pawn left. And white's knight is a bit stranded on c8. This position seems to be quite substantially better for black. Something like this, for example, rook c1, the rook is attacked. Just gonna just take here, and yeah, here this knight b3 is also moved, but also this probably not. Oh, this is a good one. There's this to get to the d pawn. Black is probably going to win this, and it seems that really knight takes f3 would have given black very good winning chances. However, yeah, limited time, and who is going to calculate all that? He took on f3 with the rook, which is not spoiling the game or anything, but knight f3 was maybe better, but very difficult to judge, of course. After that, Kramnik played the move d6. He also could have played, but we're on move 40, very important to note, this move, which looks, to be honest, a bit insane, because, well, white is simply allowing a vicious attack by all black's pieces, but this line here
check
seems to be only good enough for a draw again. The white king is, yeah, really... It looks like it is on the ropes, but it's no mate apparent. I can go here. This
check
is even losing, so you need
check.
to give this check here, and yeah, this seems to be a draw. White is just dropping back. Okay, if you go here, you can lose, yeah, with rook h3 mate. But you can just go back and always
check.
Just react to the checks. And there's no way that black can play for a win here. This is, however, a difficult move to play. This rook b2 b8. It gives up all defensive ideas, and just yeah, you need to really calculate it to the end. And on move 40, not sure that you want to do that. Kramnik played the move d6, which is probably okay as well. I mean, probably is you can attach that to many things that I say here, because it's so complicated, this position. Yeah, well, okay, d6. Here Mamedyarov took on g4 with the bishop, which is I guess the best move. He also, if he just wants a draw, theoretically speaking, he could have played this one, which is a fairly simple draw. You just give checks here on these three squares, f3, g3, h3, and white is no way to prevent that. He can take here and then
check,
get this hailstorm of checks. But okay, he wants to win the game. Why not? Black is a piece up, and it's completely crazy, of course. But yeah, you won't get a world championship match if you play yeah, let's say chicken type chess. Every point choose the simplest continuation. So this is good. Bishop takes g4. Yeah, and what now? What is white supposed to do now? It seems that in this position, I can tell you what Kramnik played. He took on e8, just exchanging rooks, and then play rook to b8. Yeah, entering with the second rook. It seems, however, that the best move here was the not too intuitive move rook to d8. This is actually given by the computer as the only move that is playable in this position, which is quite remarkable. And it's very hard to get to grips what this move is actually doing. It prepares d7. Yeah, this much is clear, but it's still not easy to evaluate if it should lead to a draw or whatever result. We can look at lines here just to try to understand better what's going on.
check,
Bishop h3 check. Let's start with that. Patzer sees a check, gives a check. Yeah, it still makes some sense though. What is the king going to do now? I guess king h1 is the best reply. A move like king here.
check, check, check,
Leads to a disaster. White is going to be checkmated. Quite nice. What about this move?
check,
It's the same story. Leads to the same thing. You must go to h1. And what now? Okay, let's grab the knight and see what happens. d7. Fantastic position, the 2 pawns, and black is starting an onslaught with all pieces. It's just great. Yeah, rook e2. It's probably the most testing continuation. You can also try to play this one, but
check,
this at the end will also be a draw. Yeah, rook e2. This is the toughest way to play. Yeah, and now in this position, amazingly enough, white only has one move to save the draw. One move, and this is rook g1. If you try rook f8, for example,
check,
which looks entirely logical, yeah, to get
check,
a new queen with check. Black is ignoring it, just goes to g7. Okay,
check,
if you insist. Note that white cannot simply promote or anything. I should put it on
check,
the board
checkmate,
just once. This is the big threat. So okay,
check,
this check again, a check. And what now? King to h6. Yeah, and here, in fact, black is winning. The mate threat is too strong. White can try this kind of sacrifice, but okay, I'm not obliged to take. I can just take here and now win the game. There's also bishop c6. But okay, as mentioned, white has a draw. But after rook e2, he would have needed to fight rook g1. Very weird move, but it covers g2. This is the place the check occurs, so this is the only move to save it. Okay, rook c2, c2. I really want to mate you. And what now? Now
check,
rook f8 check. Yeah, and in this position you really need to take. If you go here, I'm going to
check, check,
win even with white. So I need to take.
check,
Check, and king to f7, and that's it. No checks. And what is white going to do now? Are you going to get mated after all? Yeah, like that.
check, check, check,
I'm not sure if this is going to end well, but this is not necessary. White has a better possibility. He can play queen to c7, covering the square. And if now rook h2,
check, check, check,
funny, huh? King g3 must be played. Yeah, and of course I'm close to promoting, so bishop takes, king takes, bishop here, rook a1, and this is going to be a draw at the end. Yeah, fantastic line. Of course this is super deep. I mean, who is going to calculate that? But it needs to be checked. This is what those guys, yeah, they needed to calculate all that. Okay, so rook d8. What else was there after rook d8? Black can try knight e6 here. Entirely different approach. Rook e8. Knight f4 check. Also a possibility. But however, this is something that will lead to a draw. If white tries to escape, you can check that. I'm still going to give a ton of checks and now grab this. And this is no winning attempt for white. Yeah, something like that. I'm going here, and I have this protected. Also rook d3 possible. Yeah, it seems that this rook d8 move was the way to go in exactly this position. Yeah, still a weird move for some reason. Okay, it prepares d7, but I always try to make things, or to try to explain those highly tactical moves with some general consideration. Why exactly is this good? Okay, Kramnik didn't do that. He played the capture and now gave the check. Okay. And now rook d8. So he had the general idea. Now preparing d7. I'm doing stupid things here. Preparing d7. But it seems to just not completely, it's not quite working. If you look at this first, you could have also played c8. But black has the important knight move to e6 to cover d8 to win the endgame. He's always got 3 pawns. Okay. He went here, as mentioned. Yeah, and now it's
check.
A matter of very precise calculation again. Check here. King h2. Okay, this is what Mamedyarov played, the check. Instead of king h2, white also could have gone back here.
Check.
But after this, at the end, you need to go to the exact same position as we have in the game. Oops. Oh, sorry.
Check.
Okay, let's show this again.
Check.
Need to go here.
Check.
This position is coming up in the game, and it will pop up in this line as well. If I would have popped up in this line as well, because white cannot escape here because of the funny move h6. The king now is trapped on the side of the board. But let's look at what happened in the game. As mentioned, it would have been this position would have come up with the other king move as well. Took here, and now d7. So we are near the absolute climax here of this game. Both pawns are close to promoting. Mamedyarov gave this check, and now
check.
The white king actually needs to go this route. You cannot anymore go here because
Check.
of this simple move. And this is going to win for black. It's not completely clear cut though. Look at this.
Check. Check.
Yeah, I mean this still needs to be won, but black will win it. He's not losing any of the pieces, which sometimes can happen, of course. But he's got this very important knight near the king, which is an excellent defender, covering all those critical squares. Yeah, this is why Kramnik went to h4 on the side of the board. And yeah, this is really crazy now. Mamedyarov now took some time and then played bishop e6. And this is a very strong move, actually. A very, very strong move. Yeah, what is black's idea? It's very simple. Checkmate. If white plays a nothing move, oh no, let's say he promotes, yeah, just to show it.
Check. Checkmate.
That's the mate threat. Which means you cannot promote, and the threat is so strong. The only move that white has is a check. Rook f8.
Check.
Yeah, and here in this position, after all this madness, what is Mamedyarov doing now? He actually took the rook, and this was really a shocking decision, because white is now queening with the check. And it's hard to understand why he did that. Especially because, well, the alternative is pretty straightforward. It's not, I mean, considering some other things that happened before, I really think he could have found it. Yeah, king g6, simply avoiding the capture, seems to be very good. And there are two lines now that you need to calculate.
Check.
Rook f6 is the first one. This is actually the easy one. King takes.
Check.
And after this, that's funny, there's no check. Yeah, quite amazing. There's no check. And black is winning now with this attack here. White has absolutely no defense against the mate threats. If you cover this square, black will actually even approach with the king and get this threat also into the mix. Completely winning. And this is pretty easy. I mean, so rook g8,
check.
Somewhere here must be the thing that he didn't calculate right. King h6 here is the key move, after which this might happen. And here there's a very important point. Maybe this is actually what he missed. Rook
check.
h2 check, king g3, and now bishop takes d7. Yeah, maybe this is what he missed. It's very funny. Black is still attacking this. White can take here, and the bishop is stopping the c-pawn. So something like that is a very, very easy win. Maybe this is what he had overlooked. This is possible. It's not so easy. There are various ways to draw, by the way. If black just wants a draw, he can just take the rook. There's nothing that white can do now. Let's say you promote. Yeah, I'm going back here. And now white must give a perpetual. Still this mate threat. So there were various ways to draw, but he took on f8. Really weird. I mean, really, if you don't, I mean, the thing is, you had very simple draws. You had a win, and he takes here, which is really strange. And he had lots of time on the clock. Yeah, okay. Now white
check.
Promotes here, and now he played relatively quickly king g7, and it seems that even here the move king f7 was really not so easy to win against. For example, if after king f7 white tries to get the new queen,
check.
We still have the mate going.
Checkmate.
Okay, this is a relatively simple trap, I know, but what should white play actually. Could play. Oh, I need to. Come on. Where is it? Always promote to queen. Always promote to queen. There it is.
Check.
White can actually under promote here, and this is this is a funny move. King f6, knight takes, queen takes, and now rook g7. This is, for example, I guess a draw. Could easily happen. Can easily happen. The thing is, after this king f7 move here, king f7, white seems to have a win, a relatively clear win. Clear meaning the result is clear, but it's not like obvious. The best move seems to be king h5, which seems utterly crazy. But this seems to be the way to go for some reason. Bishop
Check.
g4, king h6. The king is actually quite safe now, and white will
Check.
promote
Check. Check.
again, but here in fact he will
Check. Check.
get the important a7 pawn. Completely crazy. But it seems that he somehow had planned all this beforehand and maybe thought that he's mating now, or I don't know. I really don't know. The thing is, here Kramnik played queen to b7, and this is just killing black. Knight f3 check. Yeah, I'm going to take.
Check.
And that's it. Maybe he simply had overlooked queen b7. I really cannot tell. I mean, because the alternatives that he overlooked, they weren't so difficult. I mean, comparing to some other things that he correctly had assessed, really a bit weird. Yeah, well, queen b7, that's a killer. This is the threat. d8 check. Yeah, black cannot give the check on f3. I'm just going to take it. There is simply no move here. He played this, in fact, white took.
Check.
And here there is nothing.
Check.
Can give all those checks, but the king is escaping.
Check.
And here, in fact, he resigned. I'm not sure if he really played this on the board. It's just here in the ICC, in the ICC moves here. Yeah, what a game! What a game! So to just recap the end, not in every detail, but if he here in this position is not capturing and playing king g6, white only has this check, king h6, rook g5. This is really the last possible attempt, and now this, and it's over. Black is just winning here with an extra piece. There are not even any tricks coming. I mean, this is the best that white can do. And black has an endgame with 3 extra pawns. So completely over. Yeah, what a tragedy at the end for Mamedyarov. He really he had it. I mean, he only not saying it was totally easy or anything, but just in this critical moment had to find the right continuation, and he actually would have managed to come from being at the bottom end of the table, -2 at the end, losing 2 games early and then winning 3. He would have be really in contention, and with +1 right behind the leaders. And now he lost this game, and it's Kramnik who's back in the race with this win. Kramnik now on +1 again. It's he managed to, with this win, make sure that he managed to get this point right after he had lost to Topalov. So it's just like as he would have played 2 draws, and he's still okay in terms of overall tournament standings. What a dramatic end to this fight. They both really fought and did their best, and at the end Kramnik was just the luckier player, I guess. It's quite amazing how one game can alter the whole course course of a tournament. Yeah, curses are maybe also involved somewhere. All right, I hope you enjoyed the coverage of this fascinating game. To be honest, I had some more lines in my preparation, but it's so confusing that I somewhat confuse myself at times. So if you have some time on your hands, just just load this game into the software of your choice, or put it on a real board, and try to figure out lines and ideas. It's really worth it. Tremendously complicated game. Thanks for watching.